People don't realize when you say brand, it's hard to brand anything. Brand yourself, brand.
Brand is very intangible.
And people don't realize, but your brand speaks volumes about you. You heard what I said to everyone, the most important person in your organization is the person answering their phone, guy or girl.
Yes.
Because they already bought the brand.
Yeah, brand is across the culture. Yeah, it's in the ad, it's in the message, it's in the website, it's in the integrity of how you handle your leads, your warranties, your everything.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. Welcome to the Roofing CEO Playbook podcast. Build it to sell it. We're here to cut through the noise, all the rhetoric, to show you how to build your roofing business, make it profitable, where you make a boat ton of money, and the cherry on top, when you're ready to sell, you can sell to a private equity firm and change your family's life. I'm sitting here in New Orleans with Mike Feazel. I hope I said that correctly, best I could. CEO of Maxx. Just got done his conference. We're here at his conference. Mike, thank you so much for inviting me out here. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out to speak. Hell of a keynote. Everybody really enjoyed it, obviously.
Thank you.
Great story.
So, Mike, why don't you tell people what I was just blown away. My team was just saying the culture here is insane. Like, you got a hell of a culture. Like, I see why you're successful. Can you tell people what Maxx is and how it actually works? 'Cause, like you said, some people think it's black magic, right? Can you tell people what Maxx actually is and what it does?
Yeah, very simple. Asphalt shingles, 1/3 of asphalt has been removed from asphalt shingles over the last 20 years. When I started in 85, shingles weighed 320 pounds per square. There were 4 bundles per square. Now they're weighing 210. So less asphalt means the oil dries out, petrochemical oils dry out, and for the same reason you get a pothole in the road, is why shingles need to be replaced. The oil dries out. So ours is a bio oil that penetrates down into the shingles, reflexibilizes the asphalt, and brings the flexibility back to a like new condition. So we pass the same ASTM testing required of a brand new roof. And we do that at PRI testing labs to Ohio State University. PRI is where all of the shingles are tested. So basically it's a maintenance product, just bringing a shingle back to life. Skin moisturizer for shingles, pretty simple.
So I'm going to break it down as a salesperson while I was selling your product.
Yep.
Mr. Customer, hey Mike, thank you so much. What I'm going to do here is we're going to repair your roof, bring it back to life so you don't have the investment of a whole new roof today. Right. And we're probably 1/3 the price, and we're probably going to get you 8 to 10 years. Is that accurate, somewhere in that?
Ish, but yes, pretty much. We're going to give you 5 years per treatment.
5 years per treatment.
Basically, we're allowing you to buy a roof 5 years at a time instead of, well, they want to say 50 years, but it's really 15.
Yeah, it's about 12 and a half.
Maybe 20.
Yeah. So it's really do you guys offer financing?
Yeah, the different dealers offer financing. This is a dealer model. We have 350 dealers nationwide.
Explain to people I just met it. People are happy as hell out here. So explain to the dealer model what is not a franchise.
Not a franchise.
Explain to it. It's pretty fascinating model.
Yeah, we just sell product. So you buy our product, we will give you a territory. If we decide to partner with you, we might say, look, we don't see a good fit. You'll get an exclusive territory. We'll take that territory off the market. It's now yours. You agree to move a certain amount of product through that market. We're doing the advertising, driving leads. We drove 120,000 leads last year. We'll drive 250,000 leads this year. And that's it. And then we give all the support of a franchise. We've got 70 people at corporate. We're growing the model quick. We'll probably have 220 this time next year. So we're right at the bottom of the hockey stick going up. We just did a hell of a partnership with Mike Rowe. So the company is really starting to get its stride. We're coming into our 7th year.
Yeah, and it takes, we were just talking about that, it takes time to build things. One of the people asked me the question, do you hire or get to work first, right? And you were in a position where you had to bring dealers in and then start advertising, right? And so people probably think, oh man, Mike, you are the largest dealer of what you do in the country, right? There's no one else that's bigger than you, right?
No, we started the industry. We created the industry.
And I saw you guys sued someone that tried to steal it from you, correct? Yeah, and you won that.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're doing a few $1 million. You'll probably be a $1 billion business in another 7 years, right?
A couple years, 3 years, probably 3, 4 years. 3 years. By the end of the decade, we're easily $1 billion.
You're a $1 billion industry. That's a big industry.
Yeah.
But it didn't start that way. Talk to me about like, tell me about your younger years when you were in high school. You had to be I'm assuming you were a very smart kid. I'm assuming.
Barely got out of high school, 1.7 GPA. Got thrown out of my house, lived under my buddy's stairs. His dad was a small roofing company, so I was ripping off shingles and humping shingles, and 6 months in, hated that. So went and sold perfume on street corners and drank a lot of beer. And finally, at about 22, I was mid-21, cleaning out, knocking doors, cleaning out gutters, borrowed my dad's ladder, started doing a little bit of roof repair because I had some roofing experience. And then that turned into a small contract with a home builder. Within a year, had probably 10 guys. I was good at selling, terrible at managing. Convinced my brother to come back, who had roofed to get through college. The same friend of the family, handed him an IGA bag, the independent group, just paper bag full of all these receipts, and went, "You're the accountant." And we started and grew Feazel Roofing to be one of the biggest roofing companies, most successful companies in the country. Sat on GAF's National Advisory Council. Helped create the first roofing certified contractor program, which is the Master Elite program today, back in the 93, 94.
They give that out like candy now.
Huh?
They give that out like candy now.
Yeah. Everybody's got one. Started Roofer Success, and so built that business into a success. Almost been bankrupt twice. Went through drug addiction, and my stepfather had passed, and really just went down a deep, dark hole. Just all of these life lessons. Hell, we were a large roofing company, probably had 75 employees at one point, and I couldn't have ever told you how much money we had. I would know at the end of the year, talk about not knowing your numbers, I would know at the end of the year how much money we made. And this is a lot long before computers and QuickBooks and all this stuff. But it was the second time, and I tell our dealers this all the time, it's the second time I went bankrupt that I almost went bankrupt, that I became disciplined. And I realized I had to know my numbers. And from then forward, once I got disciplined with my business, and beer was less important, and you talked about your life, right? You do a lot of stupid shit, you hang out with a lot of stupid people, stupid things happen.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no accident to it.
No, I mean, listen, it's the one thing I always say is numbers don't lie, people lie about numbers.
Yeah.
And you heard me preaching in there, you gotta know your numbers, Yeah. And there's no magic success to know. And people think I can't learn this. And anyone can learn it, because there's only about 20 simple numbers you really got to know.
What they mean is, I don't like this.
Correct.
But once you learn it, and then you get disciplined, you start to realize that, wow, business is a lot easier. Making decisions just based on the numbers. It's easier to make the decisions.
I got to ask this question. So now you own a roofing company. You overcome drug addiction. What made you even think of a product like Maxx? I mean, were you smoking weed? You thought I got to ask the question because I would never.
Yeah.
I'm not intelligent enough to even think of something like that.
The roofing industry went down two paths. One was the manufacturers taking the product and removing asphalt of what used to be a 30-year product and calling it a 50. So today's 50-year product's a 15-year product, 20 in the north if you're lucky.
I'm assuming you're not on the board of GIF anymore.
Nope. They have a problem. They need to fix it. It's a them problem. And I don't even want to, not just GIF, the whole industry. They're out here promoting product as 50 in lifetime, and I don't know why they just don't call it what it is. Asphalt has been removed from shingles, and that's what's causing the challenges in the insurance industry. While at the same time, the roofing industry became a storming industry, and a good percentage of your roofing contractors are getting their revenue from knocking on doors saying, I can get you a new roof because you're missing a shingle. You don't wait until the paint starts to peel on your home and then call your insurance company to come paint it. So the insurance industry is shutting that down now, as you probably are aware.
Let's talk about the storm chasing, because as you know, I only been.
So that's why we sold the stormers and what happened to with the roofing manufacturers, and we're like, fuck this, we're done.
The storm chasing, though, I don't understand the model at all, because I won't be a part of it. I just think it's too sleazy. I just think that a lot of things about it, but it doesn't even make sense to me. You go hire a bunch of canvassers, they knock doors and say, if I get you a free roof, I'll do the work. If not, don't worry about it. I mean, that's ultimately the pitch, correct?
Yes, pretty much.
And it seems like none of them are making it except for this guy, Todd Price, that I know. It seems like the majority of these guys just are not making it.
So a lot of guys made a lot of money, but now that industry is being shut down by the insurance companies. So, storming is a necessity when a hurricane hits, when a big hailstorm hits. But it got to the point where they weren't chasing hail or hurricanes, they were chasing thunderstorms. Like literally thunderstorms. And they weren't traveling across the country, they were just staying in their home market, walking around, knocking on doors and saying, hey, there's damage. I can get you a free roof, you're missing a shingle. And so about 1/3 of the roofs in the U.S. were replaced by insurance. If you go back to the early 2000s, 3%. Right? So they're not going to get the genie all the way back in the bottle to 3%, but they'll get it to 10 to 12%. So now you're seeing this big squeeze on the industry. A lot of private equity was out buying up roofing companies, and half their revenue was derived from restoration. Restoration's a 50% margin. Retail's, most retail is 30%.
I've never seen a private equity firm buy insurance-based companies yet. All the ones I deal with are all retail.
Well, I know Vertex, but I've spoken.
Vertex doesn't buy insurance at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. No, but they're
buying
they're buying retail companies, but a big piece of their revenue is coming from knocking doors, the insurance side. So
I sold to Vertex, and I was the second one on their platform, and it was none of that when I was.
There's a straight retail.
Yeah, we're straight retail.
They're all retail.
Yeah, they're all retail. Persian's all retail. Trivest is all, like, the ones I know, they might have canvassers, but even their canvassers are setting appointments for retail. There is no insurance, right?
Okay.
So all the ones I know that were doing insurance, I never met Todd Price, I guess you could say, he's private equity. Nice guy. Really, I don't know if you know him, but very nice guy.
No.
He owns a bunch of them that do insurance. I heard maybe one or two other ones, but I never met them. And I'm like, how's that going to work?
I spoke to 3 companies, and I'm not going to say names. 2 of them I know. One of them was the CEO of a very large roofing organization, retail roofing organization, that from years past. And when I asked the question, are you looking at what's on the books when you're buying these companies? I told them I wasn't for sale, but I wanted to hear the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I think they were interested in buying us for a lead machine. We're a great hook. And we weren't interested in selling, and we're not right now. We'll sell in 24 months. But they weren't interested in, is it retail, or was the P&L solid, and did it have a great team behind it? And I didn't get into the whole debate. The insurance industry wasn't starting to shut down that side of it, but I knew it was coming. And that started to happen last year. The insurance industry is its revenue's collapsing for these big $100 million roofing companies, and the revenue's coming from door knockers. That part of the world is disappearing quickly.
Do you think door knocking will grow?
I think door knocking for retail will grow, but I think the days of door knocking to get a free roof are over.
What percentage do you think the insurance versus retail will become? I think it's probably 70-30 right now. 70-30 retail.
Yes.
What do you think we'll go to?
I think they'll get it back to 10 to 12%. It used to be 3%. I think there's 20% that's going to get squeezed. And that 20% is that's going to put pressure on the retail companies that don't know how, there aren't sales organizations, which most roofing companies are estimators. They're not sales organizations. Right, and so the margins are thin. They're down there at 30% margin, whatever. So I think they're going to get crushed.
You know, you got a lot of people's lives in your hands. There's probably about 300 people in that room right there.
Yeah.
How many dealers do you have?
350.
Yeah, 350 dealers. I mean, that means you got to teach all these people how to sell, marketing, P&Ls. I mean, just everything, systems, processes.
Everything you talked about on stage.
Yeah,
all the time.
Can you tell me what that is like? Because some of these people seem so nice. Is it will versus skill with some of these people? Like, tell me that process. Because in the 7 years, it had to be from you with your first few dealers trying to figure this shit out to now you seem to have a pretty good playbook. It appears from the outside.
Yeah.
Are they implementing the playbook, or some better than others? What's the process like?
Exactly. So we have Maxx University. We have 70 people in the company. There's probably 25 people that are committed to the dealers, meaning anything they need. The rest of it's coders and IT and accounting, all of that. But we built out a support network for the dealers. When a new dealer comes in, we take them through the whole process, hold their hands. I meet with the dealers now at 60 days in, mandatory meeting, 60 days in. I'm just getting back from, I was working 100-hour weeks. I didn't have time to only put out fires. But over the last few years, I've got it to where, I'm putting in my 40 hours a week of meetings. And also included in that 40 hours is with my team, with the dealers, if they need me. So I'm making myself a lot more available. I have more time. So we're trying to hold their hands. But the biggest thing was the marketing, getting enough leads. So we just really ramped up. Last year we did $10 million in marketing. This year we have a $21.7 million budget. Mm-hmm. Like I said, just did our deal with Mike Rowe. So
what percentage is in marketing? About 10%?
10%.
Yeah.
So we'll break over 200 this year. Yeah. Next year we're going to try to shoot for 500 based on our growth. Try to keep EBITDA 15%.
Yeah.
Just very standard. Yeah. But rejuvenation to me will find its place, and it is finding its place in the roofing industry, in the retail roofing industry. Because to me, it's so critical to walk in and not just be a one-trick pony. Everybody wants to sell roof replacements. And if somebody doesn't have a need for a new roof, what is our incentive in our industry to not sell them a new roof? Everybody just sells new roofs. And if the typical salesperson is showing up to somebody's home, they've got a house payment to make. The owner has a cost of business that he's trying to carry. So every lead is replace, unless they have a good repair division. And most of the roofing industry has not figured out the repair side of it.
Well, the repair...
There's no money in repairs.
The issue with the repair is, there is no money, number one.
No.
There is no money. And that's not to be rude to our home. We don't do repairs, right?
Yep.
And, any of my companies. And this is
Hard
why
to be profitable.
you can't tell really, no matter who you are. I gave you the story of the guy that told me he was the best roofer ever, the best technician. He couldn't tell you with 100% accuracy of where the leak is coming from. Now, you could think you found the leak, but the leak could be from water runs all over on roofs. Just go on a roof and see how that water goes.
Yeah.
The minute I touch that roof, and this is what happens, you pay Joe Blow, who's just an idiot, to do your roof. 3-4 years later, they're out of business. Your roof's leaking. You call us, right? We go out and we're like, listen, they did the roof wrong. And they're like, okay, we'll just fix this one area. No, because if it ain't coming from there, now I'm public enemy number one, and you're going to smear my name for $2,000 or $3,000. I didn't make money on it anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't realize, go put 2 squares on 3 squares on a home, you're not making money.
Yeah.
The average person is not making money. It's more of a loss leader.
That's why rejuvenation has to be put in with it. That's why it has to be a $6,000 job. It's 70% margins, and it works. I'm trying to think of the guy's name that was the trainer for Owens Corning. Big, tall, black guy. What the hell is his name?
Rodney Webb?
Rodney Webb.
Rodney Webb! I never met him. But boy, I heard everything. The sales guru of gurus.
Well, but his model is, and a lot of these $20, $30, $40 million roofing companies, one of my buddies uses Rodney as a consultant. And theirs is a repair, replace model. But anyway, it's a very in-depth conversation, but how they go about it's not, you go in and you completely remove a section, and there's a way to do it where you guarantee it, but they're never doing a $500 or $1,000 repair.
They're doing a $5,000-$6,000 repair.
Yes, and roof rejuvenation allows you to come out and take a plumbing boot that's leaking, the rubber gasket's dry rotted.
Yeah.
All the roof really needs is a rubber gasket and a tune-up, a little bit of love to the roof, and some juice, right? Needs more oil. And all of a sudden it's a $5,000 deal, and you're in and out in 2 hours for the customer. Sales rep makes their money, the customer's happy, they don't have to buy a new roof, they're telling the neighbors, you're making 70%, the crew's in and out in an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're over 15,000 reviews. So I trademarked America's Most Trusted Roofer because nobody has as many reviews as we do, and we're 4.9 stars, right? Doing it at scale because of this.
Absolutely.
And that's not because we're wonderful. I think we're great, and I think we hold our dealers accountable. The product does the work. It's easy. It's easy business. And it serves a value to the customer. So it will become part, I believe, in a decade, you will have to have rejuvenation. Doesn't have to be roof max, but you will have to have rejuvenation, I believe, as part of your package if you're going to be a retail roofer as the insurance goes away, is what I believe.
It's going to be mainstream.
It's going to be mainstream.
This will be more of your repair division.
Yes. And this has already been proven out in the commercial roofing industry. No roofing company in commercial today doesn't do annual maintenance and inspection packages. Obviously repair work, and now coatings. GE Silicone has entered the space, top coat from GAF. So now roof restoration is a thing. You don't just put a roof on and wait for it to leak, and then when it's bad, you rip it off and replace it. There's full repair maintenance packages. They call it roof restoration. We watched that industry grow over the last 40 years and really mature, and we're like, okay, well, that's why we call it roof rejuvenation. I want to differentiate from steep slope to flat because they're different industries anyway,
What's your relationship now like with GAF and the shingle manufacturers? I'm assuming it's not as good as it once was.
I wouldn't say it's bad. I mean, I know guys on the inside. I know district managers and and all of that. But I've spoke with a couple of the manufacturers early on. They wanted to buy us. I said, you're not going to put it on the shelf. Not going to do a deal. I felt that we had something, and I believed in it. We did well on our first sale. So this second deal is more of a passion project. Of course, there's a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of opportunity for everybody here. But in my earlier life, I was making money. I was making money to live a lifestyle. I'm 58, man. I want to build $1 billion company.
Here's a question for you.
without private equity.
Let's talk about belief.
Yeah.
Let's talk about belief. Some people just don't get that the belief is probably 90%
It's everything.
of just getting it done.
You got to believe your own bullshit. And it can't be bullshit. It's got to be real.
Yeah.
But I believe my own bullshit. I sold myself that this is real, and it is, right? It's proven out over time. The product has to meet its demand, right? It's got to meet its promise.
Yeah.
We've already done that over and over and over again. We're coming in our 7th year, so
But it seems
the
like
rest is belief.
90% of salespeople, I saw a stat that 73% of people that sell don't even believe in the product that they're selling.
Right, right.
I mean, that's lunacy to me.
People
Like,
are trying to
that's
make a living, man. People are trying to survive, and it's not easy to survive. It's hard to make money. It's harder to survive today than it was 30 years ago. It's not the 90s anymore.
I think it's easier.
I think it is easier for guys like me and you that are willing to take the risk and go out and do it. I think there's a lot more opportunity. But I think for somebody that's not willing to put themselves out there, I respect the hell out of my dealers. They had to believe in me and my brother and our bullshit, especially going back 3-4 years ago. 6 years ago, this wasn't even a thing. You got dealers that come in today and then we're like, look, we got a guy over here that's making almost $2 million EBITDA. Go talk to him. So it's a different conversation today. But I believe, right? It's all about the belief. And I think the opportunity is huge, but I think a lot of people are out there selling bullshit they don't believe in, because there's a lot of companies that are selling bullshit that they don't believe in, especially in home services.
I mean, listen, as you know, people think when people hear my story and find out I've been in home services for about 3.5, 4 years now, they're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's not long, man. But I had such a mindset compared to other, because I've only hung out with the winners in the home services.
Yeah.
To do 25, 30, 40 million a year was nothing.
Yes.
We talk like,
Yeah.
and I don't think people understand that mindset of who you're around, who you're talking to, what you're doing.
But you had success with one SEO.
Yes.
And built a large team.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been through that stage of development, which is the hardest thing.
before that.
Right. So you knew how to manage, and everything's a widget in my world. Right. What's your widget? So now it's all about people, processes, teams, KPIs. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've never.
But it's more about team than anything.
Well, I'm fortunate. I do believe I have the best team out there, and I say it to people all the time.
Yeah,
and you heard me say out there, like, my team.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this without my team. Like, they're the ones that do all the hard work. They're the ones that put all this together. They run everything. They're the ones making the decisions. I'm just lucky to be called the leader of the pack. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a very strange dynamic because in corporate America, if the CEO ever said that in corporate America, they fire him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he has to justify his position.
No doubt. I mean, but like, it's almost comical. I'm like,
Yeah.
But you really think about it. I look at all the guys that run good companies. Like, I know your sister's great. She has a great bar. I mean, great personality. Like,
Yeah. Thank you.
you have people like that. I mean, how do you lose?
You can't. Yeah, you can't. I mean, great people, and you need great leaders, but great leaders find great leaders and motivate great leaders. One of the dealers told me today down at lunch, his house flooded in Florida. Him and his wife were standing on a step ladder with their dogs as the water was rising. So they lost their house, they lost their 2 rental homes, their cars, everything.
Jesus Lord.
And he said, Mike, I want to tell you something. He pulled me aside and he told me the story, and he said, your team reached out, made it to where we didn't have any pressure on buying product, anything, as we got our lives back together. And I said, that's amazing. I said, I heard that they had done that. It wasn't a directive from me.
Yeah.
It's just a directive from our team that knows that they have the ability to go and do what needs to be done. And that's just based on what's right. So,
What do you think about marketing? You keep talking about marketing earlier. You made this deal, and you understand the value of leads. Why do you think so many entrepreneurs don't understand the value of leads and marketing, even take that into consideration?
I think because marketing is the hardest thing in the world to do effectively, and it's hard to scale. Also, if you don't know your numbers, like your CAC and all the other stuff that has to happen, then it doesn't. How do you know which marketing is good, what's bad? And for us, it's even beyond marketing, right? We're trying to build a brand, and that's what we've done differently than any of our competitors. Right, we came into this, and everybody has to have a wrap vehicle, and we control all of that, so it's a national cohesive brand. And I thought it was critical. Well, for one, Brand is all where the value is. It's in the brand. But we had to do a brand in a new industry that didn't exist in the mind of the consumer, so it was even more important. And so we've just put everything back into marketing.
You know, people don't realize when you say brand, it's hard to brand anything. Brand yourself, brand.
Brand is very intangible.
And people don't realize, but your brand speaks volumes about you.
Yep.
You heard what I said to everyone. The most important person in your organization is the person answering their phone, guy or girl.
Yes.
Because they already bought the brand.
Yeah, brand is across the culture. Yeah, it's in the ad, it's in the message, it's in the website, it's in the integrity of how you handle your leads, your warranties, your everything. Yeah.
What's the biggest challenges you guys have had at Roof Maxx growing, would you say?
Early years building out, when we sold our company, we sold our team, and we brought a couple people from it to start this, to go down this path. It's building out the team. That's why I said I was 100-hour weeks for a few years. As we built out our team, as we built out the model, tightened down the model. But now we've got, like I said, there's 70 people. We've got a really good bench, a good base that we elevate up. If you can't, you go outside and go to a recruiting firm. And we're bringing in a VP of marketing right now. So we don't have anybody in the company. Right now I'm the CMO, and I'm not a CMO. So we're going out to get a VP of marketing, and maybe that individual will become a CMO. Yeah. But I sit really close to marketing.
Absolutely.
Because we're driving the machine.
I guess, what's next for Roof Maxx? I know you want to go to $1 billion.
Yeah.
I know you're going to sell in 24, 36 months.
Get to 50 million EBITDA. We'll go do a partnership. I don't know if that's going to be a strategic partner, private equity, could be a large family office. Not sure yet. We're also getting ready, as you said, with the employees. So they don't know it, but whenever this airs, they'll find out. They're going to find out very soon. So we're doing employee ownership as well.
Nice.
It's critical because we know and they already know that we're marching down that path. Do you know who Adam Coffey is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Adam's he's helping us set up our board and get all of that together, kind of a succession plan. But I want to stay in the driver's seat for the next decade, right? And maybe take this thing public, I don't know. We're adding in roof replacement, we're adding in integrated solar.
I do like the fact when we were talking before, you said you wanted to add in roof replacement. Explain to me why. I mean, it's just another great line item on your P&L. If you're out there already, why not, right?
Yes. Well, we're showing up to the home and then the roof doesn't qualify, but also we're treating these roofs and we'll do repeat treatments. But when the last treatment is done, right? So it's the customer acquisition, right? And why not have a better lifetime customer value? I'm not going to sell a commodity. I don't want to compete with anybody. They can all sell apples. I'm going to sell oranges. If they start selling oranges, I'm going to start selling bananas. So we're going to sell a real premium system, probably in the $1,000 square range.
There's only 7 manufacturers in the country, so you have to use a GAF at Owens Corning, or you have to use one of them, because you can't import shingles.
At this point, it'll be modified. So, and Malarkey's building a couple factories right now, but I'll only do a modified shingle. So, are you familiar with Malarkey?
Malarkey, yes.
Yeah. And so they were just bought. It was privately held, so the company bought them. They're building a couple manufacturing facilities. A couple of the other manufacturers are selling also modified. So, modified shingle's the best shingle out there. But then you go 6 nails, high-end underlayments, solar attic fans. I don't believe in ridge vent. I don't believe in all of that. You've got to have mechanical airflow. So just a lot of differentiators.
So you believe in, hey, listen, all your dealers are going to sell a certain system or 1 or 2 certain systems?
It's 2 ways. So a lot of our dealers are roofers. So when that roof doesn't qualify, they can pull out their roofing company hat and sell it, and they build whatever they want.
Okay.
It's their lead. But for the 80% that aren't roofers, they can then sell a Roof Maxx roof, and then we will have roof install partners. Not subcontractors, but tier 1 labor, but the $2 to $5 million company that we'll partner with, and they'll be the install, and they'll just get a very healthy commission. They'll make $6,000 on the average.
Nice.
On the average job, yeah. And so it's worth their time. The customer gets what they want. I've already got the website built or the landing page. Don't buy our roof unless you're staying put.
Okay, I like that.
And I explain the whole, hey, if you're leaving 6-7 years, you're not you won't get your return on investment, so don't buy our roof. If you want a builder's grade roof, but we don't sell builder's grade roofs. We don't want to deal with that headache.
You seem to love roofing. Like, I do a lot of interviews. You just seem to enjoy all parts of it.
Yeah.
Where I can't say I love roofing. I kind of came into it for the money, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I felt like I feel like Christopher Columbus when he founded America. Man, this is the most unorganized, worst ran industry I've ever. Like, the shingle companies are literally monopolies, right? It's like the fucking mob or whatever. The 3 distribution companies. Like, this is like buying America. Like, this is the best kept secret.
It is.
I mean, but you seem to know every ounce of it. And just
I've watched it. I've been doing this 40 years. So, you know, I'm a hillbilly roofer. I'm from a small town of 2,000 people. I've worked beside guys before the Latin workforce. These guys were all out of prison, hard lives. Great guys, some of the greatest guys, and then I watched, but honest. They weren't going to screw over Mrs. Smith. Back when roofers were the people selling the roofs, but we weren't selling. We were estimating and suggesting what you should do, and no pressure or anything. And then the industry started to shift to a bunch of slick salesmen that'll sell anything they can sell, whether it needs a roof or not. Unfortunately, most of the roofers that are selling roofs don't know roofing. So there's black streaking, there's a leak in the house that needs a new roof on an 8-year-old roof when the rubber gaskets dry rot. And, you know, so it's just they're not being educated and they're trying to make a living. But again, the roofing companies, I get what they're doing. You know, Able Roofing is the largest retail roofing company in the country. They're out of my city. We were 2 of the larger in the country, and we competed in the market. And they too don't do repairs because they couldn't afford to do it. And at the time, the owner, he sold a long time ago to Crane Plastics. He said, Mike, we can't afford to do repairs. No. And I'm like, you're crazy, Steve, you got to do it. Well, we lost money in the repair division because we thought we had to do it. But then we learned how to take the repair division and make it extremely profitable by doing tune-up packages and all these things. Jim Abrams consolidated the heating and cooling industry, and the reason that it went through private equity, how it has over the last 15 years, is because of Jim Abrams. And he did the original roll-up, which is Service Experts, you know, $1 billion plus company.
That's over here on the East Coast. Is a guy named Dave Geiger. He did Horizon.
But Dave Geiger worked under Jim Abrams, and they all worked under Jim's organization, which was Airtime 500. And Terry Nicholson and that whole group.
Direct Energy was the first one that came.
Direct Energy bought from Jim Abrams, yes. And Jim and I formed Roofer Success International. We were the roofing division in his HVAC, plumbing, and electrical.
Is it amazing how everyone knows everyone?
Everybody knows
we're just sitting here talking. We had no clue we all know the same people were here. We're just sitting here. And that's where we try and tell people, I tell my sons all the time, like, it's a small world. Everyone knows everyone.
Yes.
Everyone knows, and that's why you better do what you say you're going to do.
And you start to know the good ones and the bad ones. Yeah.
What I say up there on stage, I know inside of 20 minutes I want to be around you ever again.
Yeah, if you're full of shit or not.
Yeah, you know.
And most of the guys that aren't full of shit have just stubbed their toe enough, and like Geiger, and I've never met him.
Greatest guy, great guy.
He's just not full of shit. He's just not full of shit. Landon Brewer, you know Landon Brewer?
Yeah.
Landon Brewer worked at Success International, SGI.
So
great guy.
The thing I'll say about Geiger, he's the most unassuming man you ever meet. You would think he's, and I love Dave, great. He let me touch. Listen, I owned an HVAC company 2 miles down the road from him, and he let me go tour his. Like, that's just the man he is.
He's not a scarcity guy.
He's abundance mindset.
Yeah.
But like, you would think this guy wasn't worth 2 cents.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to count his money, but I'm assuming he's worth $500 million plus, if not more, with all of his success, right? I'm like,
yeah, but Lance,
this guy's so nice.
But as you've made money, and I don't know how you were when you were younger. I've had my Porsche. I've had that shit when I was younger because I was trying to prove to myself and everybody else who I was. You know, and that's just young. But then you get older and you realize that that's not important. You said 50?
I'm 51.
Yeah, and I'm 58. That's just not important. And you kind of get to what's real. And what's real is and plus once you've got enough money where if you get more money, is it going to change your life?
No.
Does another 100 million make a difference to you?
No.
And so once you kind of get to that point, you don't give a shit. Now and I still want to grow the business. It's still part of my ego because I love the game. Want to build $1 billion company that's done without private equity. Love helping these dealers and seeing the impact it's making on them. Love the impact that we're doing with the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, which, you know, very cool what you did. You know, for everybody that's watching, which is awesome. Nobody asked you to do it, and you said you were going to give the money to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, the money you were paid for the event that you're at here today.
Yeah,
but that was fucking awesome, dude.
Listen, I get some people make their living off of speaking. I don't make my living off of speaking. I speak for the abundance mindset. And, and I always tell people keep the fee, or I ask them to donate to like your foundation or Beat the Streets. Like I'm very, I think all my money has ever been given to foundations.
Costs you a lot of money to bring all these guys here, flights and all of that stuff, right? So
yeah, but they're good guys, and I think they enjoy being with me, right, Jacob? That's like, what am I doing here, right? Like, I mean, you become friends with people because you're with them all day long. So it's not even our team is friends. So
that's what's great about business.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
you know, I want to stick with something because you said something, and I'm getting rid of my G-Wagon. It's funny because I bought it last year. It's my wife's favorite. One of her favorites.
And there's nothing wrong with it all.
No, because you earned the right to get it, right?
Yeah.
But I had a pickup truck, and this, I'm going to make a point. I just went back to my guy Pat. I said, Pat, I want my old pickup truck back. I went the same exact way. It's a now. It's nothing crazy, but it was my favorite fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, I sat her down. I said, I've never achieved a goal that has made me happy. I've never bought any personal item that's made me happy.
No.
The only thing that's ever made me happy is my family and winning.
Yes.
And can you talk about that? Because you seem you got that same mentality where like you're like, all this shit doesn't matter, but I still want to win.
Yeah, I want to win. Because the ultimate game for me, business is life sped up. And in the years with the business, you're going to deal with more friction and more events, and you only grow through friction. You know, living under the stairs and being thrown out of my house and drug addiction, I'd never take any of it back. Those are things that made me grow, that maybe help me mentor these dealers when they're having a struggle, maybe to be more empathetic, not just sympathetic, but deeply empathetic. So winning, I mean, obviously there's a scorecard called a P&L.
Yeah, of course.
In business. So, and you have to make money or you can't keep the thing afloat. But the winning is just the growth of it, the experience of it, you know, just life. And, you know, I retired when I sold our roofing company the first time, Todd and I sold. And it was the most miserable. It was great for the first 6 months. I drank a shitload of tequila, got a condo down in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and had a ball. But 6 months in, I was pulling my hair out, and so then kind of went on this second journey, which we knew we wanted to when we sold our roofing company, do something along these lines, right? How do we extend the life of roofs? Back in 08, 09, with the downturn, we found out people couldn't afford roofs, and the roofing industry had changed with the quality of the shingles. So it just made sense. But we didn't know it was going to end up being this.
Well, I want to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank
you for having me here. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go look up his organization. You think about being a dealer. How does someone get in touch with you if they want to be a dealer?
Go to roofmax.com, click on the dealer tab, or roofmaxdealers.com is the dealer site, and fill out a form. There's a lot of great information there. And then we'll put you in touch with one of our dealer team that kind of take you through the process and show you what's going on.
I can't wait to see you hit $1 billion. I'm going to be cheering from you every year.
Absolutely, brother.
Later, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for coming, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.